It is spring break, so the child is home, the door is closed, Chip is already freaked out and left the room, but you never know when he's going to come back and smack the door because he wants back in. Not that this video is going to be very long, because since last week, I've been sewing. I don't know if you saw, I posted on Instagram, but I decided to mix patterns on this as much as I mix patterns for dolls. And it's kind of warm today, so I can almost get away with wearing it. This is one of the things I'm trying to make a nice loose dress, so when summer comes and it is stinking hot, I can still wear cute things and not burn up. I also sewed. This is just an experiment. I actually used this same shirt pattern to make the top for this, just with the sleeves on this one. And this top and the cloth used for this and for this bodice are from the Very Generous Doll Person's cloth de-stash from late last year. So I'm still getting use out of that. So I've been sewing big things for me, and I've been thinking about all the things I need to sew for people that I have pretty much stopped even thinking about trading with people now. But there are a few people I have sort of long-term rotating trades with, and I really need to get their stuff done. But I have one of those procrastination by doing things brains. So when there's something that I really should do, I'll do something else. So instead of working on these doll clothes I really need to do, my brain has said, let's sew human clothes, let's sew human clothes. So I need to wrangle myself into sewing doll clothes, but I have a stack of human clothes, especially stuff for the kiddo, that I would like to sew. So next week might also, it seems like about once a month you get this big burst of 200 dolls in a video, and then the rest of it is me apologizing for not having done much. One of the things, oh, the phone's ringing. Right. Anyway, so I did very few doll things since last week. The main one was getting Adeline, I still haven't looked up how her name is pronounced, getting her hair curled. And my first idea for her hair was that it should be like the kind of long, loose spiral curls. I was not ever at any point going for looking like Merida, but long, loose spiral curls. So I got the pipe cleaners, and normally when you want big curls, you take the hair and you twist it up, and then while it's still twisted, you wrap it around the pipe cleaners. So I did that, but I did like big sections, and when I took the pipe cleaners out, I also didn't pack it really tight. I like wrapped them very long spiral around the pipe cleaners. When I took the pipe cleaners out, the hair was mostly doing what I'd wanted it to do, but once it was doing that, I realized I didn't want it to do that. But there were a few bits when I first started and hadn't gotten my flow going with getting the hair on the pipe cleaners. There were some bits that were more compact and springier, and I realized that's what I wanted all of her hair to do. So I went back. I have a stash of like pipe cleaner bits that are like 2.5 inches long, and I ran out of those, and I had to scrounge around for the completely different brand of pipe cleaners that we have now and finish up her hair on those. So the texture, I don't know if you've noticed that it's slightly different in back where I use a slightly different kind of pipe cleaner. And I haven't trimmed the ends of her hair yet, so the ends aren't as super curly as the rest of the hair. But for the most part, I am happy with this hair. Because apparently, if my dolls are going to have a natural hair color, it's going to be enormous. Not always, but there's a definite trend there. So she still has all the glitter in her eyeshadow, and I resisted the temptation. There's other doll hair stuck to her hair. I resisted the temptation to give her freckles. But, so. Also, I don't have a whole lot of clothes I feel like directly go with her color scheme. These are even her original shoes. But for now, this is fine. This is good. So that was the only doll I had to share until an hour or so ago, a few hours ago, when I decided I needed something else for this video. So I got into the heads box and I got out the bodies box. And I decided I wanted to put 2 heads on those Ever After High bodies that I thrifted on the half-off day for 49 cents each, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them. So one of the heads I put on the body was this Barbie Fairytopia head, which is a little bit smaller than a regular modern Barbie Playline doll head. And of course I like her pink hair. I can't remember if I thrifted this doll, or if someone gave her to me. This is the head that was originally on a body with like molded on clothes, and the legs are molded in one solid color like tights and on points, but has really cute hands. So I've just kept the arms from that body, but I might reuse, I might not, I don't know. So anyway, this is her stock hair and her stock face. And there's more glitter. Yeah, there's more glitter, actually. They have a very, very, very similar paint. But it's not the exact same paint. There are differences, and I'm not going to go over them now. It's just, I just noticed how similar they are, especially with the application of the iridescent glitter above the eyeshadow, right under the brows. So, I'm not really sold on small heads on Ever After High or Monster High bodies, just because of the way the neck flares out. But I guess it's just because I've been messing with her for the last little while, getting her dressed. It's not so terrible. And the skin tone for the head is way yellower than the rest of the body. Of the 2 Ever After High bodies I got that were normal with the longer legs, they're both pretty pale, but this one wasn't quite as pale as the other one. I think this doll had red hair. I don't know my Ever After High dolls. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this combination. Normally when I put a head on an Ever After High body, I want it to be a kid, and then I get irritated that my only options are super high heels, but I feel like she's a little more mature, so I think she can get away with the heels. And I know everyone usually asks whenever I show dolls wearing these shoes. These are very long time discontinued female action figure shoes, so I don't think you'll be able to find them. You might find them on eBay. The company name is Crazy Owners, but I don't know if they're around or making shoes, so if you find them, they might be older. But I got several pairs when an action figure online store called Good Stuff To Go went out of business. I bought all the odd colors on clearance, because apparently most of the guys who are buying female action figures only want black, white, and red shoes for their dolls, which meant that the green and purple and blue and pink were all available for me on clearance. I actually got multiples of a lot of the colors, but either sold or traded away most multiples. I do still have 2 pairs of green, and I'm hoarding them now, thank you. So yes, I'm still trying to fill out this video because I don't have much to talk about. So the other doll I put together today, using the other Ever After High body, that's even paler. I think the doll was blonde. The original head was blonde. I was going through my box of heads, and I have that 12-inch Mego candy head, which, if you know anything about Mego dolls from the late 70s, they had a real problem hanging on to their pigment. I have seen people write online with great authority that it is because something was done to the plastic to make the makeup that came with the dolls. That was the gimmick of the 18-inch and the 12-inch candy dolls. They had makeup, and you could put the makeup on them. I've seen online written that because of this makeup gimmick, the heads are made with a special kind of plastic so the makeup wouldn't stain, but as a result that meant that the pigment also kind of evaporated over the years. And that sounds plausible, except it wasn't just the candy dolls this happened to from the late 70s. It was also the 12-inch Star Trek, the motion picture, and James Bond. Was it Moonraker, the one that came out in the late 70s? Anyway, so I don't think the makeup gimmick was included with Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, and James Bond. I mean, people made jokes about Spock totally should have had makeup gimmick. But anyway, it's just something about the Mego plastic that they used for their large dolls in the late 70s. I don't think the small Megos ever had, the 8-inch Megos ever had a problem. But the big Megos in the late 70s, almost all of them, their flesh tone just evaporated. The pale dolls. Like Wonder Woman and Cher, I think they're all still fine. And I can't remember if Farrah Fawcett lost her. I actually don't know at all if Farrah Fawcett lost her skin tone, the 12-inch Farrah Fawcett dolls. But I know Wonder Woman and Cher, who were darker skinned, tended to age fine. So something about the pale skin tone Mego used in the late 70s was really unstable, to the point that Candy now looks like this. I had to Dremel her neck opening, and is like an excavating. I could see the original skin tone inside once I cut away so much of it. I'm curious, I wonder, I mean, I don't know if I'll ever really find out if that original skin tone, now the exposed part of the neck, will also sort of evaporate out into the world. But anyway, so this is a very pale body. It is not as pale as this head has been rendered by the years. But, and also Candy, this 12-inch Candy was on a very Barbie-type body. But since she's so odd-looking now with this skin tone, I don't know. I think it works in a weird sort of way. Maybe. I haven't photographed her yet, so I don't know how she's going to look when rendered through video. I guess I could blush her head a little bit with pastels to try to make it a little more like the body skin tone, but like I said, it's not bothering me too much, or at least it's amusing me enough. Also, her hair is another problem with Mego. I even had this problem with the Candy that I got when I was like 8 or 9, so the Mego Candy wasn't that, the 18-inch Candy, she wasn't that old, but even by then, her hair was absolutely toasted, just horrible, frizzy, matted mess. And now I know a little more about how to try to revive hair like that. Get some of her hair smooth, but this part is absolutely horrible. I could not get this part flat. This part's kind of bad. So I don't know if I'm going to cut her hair off or curl it all so it's enormous and the frizz isn't as obvious, or give her a like pixie haircut, or give her completely new hair, or what. And her head doesn't feel too hard. It might not be too bad to reroot, but she has a ton of hair. Anyway, I know the way that this can be fixed is if you can get a hair, I'm blanking what's called, the two hot plates, flat plates that come together and you can use to smooth your hair, a hair straightener. If you can get one that has a really, 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 really low temperature setting, like I want to say about 160 at the most is what people are saying, I think, I'm not sure, then you can actually use that to smooth out the frizzy hair pretty well. So I have been looking at thrift stores for used hair straighteners that appear to go at a really low temperature, and I haven't found any yet. I don't see them very often being with. So I'm not sure if I will leave her hair as is, or leave her as is, or what I'm going to do with her, but I just thought this combination was amusing, and I had to get something put together for the video. Oh, this body, like I said, I thrifted this body and I was impressed that it still had all its hands and arms, but it is missing a thumb. So she gets posed strategically. And that's it for this week. Again, I don't know, I actually spent the last 2 days getting a bunch of stuff ready to put on eBay. And I still have the itch to sew human-sized stuff. And I need to sew doll stuff for people. But usually when I start sewing a lot of stuff, doll stuff for people, I'll slip in a few things for my dolls. So as like I said, as I'm saying so much of these videos, hopefully I'll have more to show you next week. And if we could have taken last week's dolls and averaged them out for the month, it probably would have been made a nice month's worth of videos. But the way I am, I want to show you everything as soon as I get it. So we're gonna need, yeah, you're used to it. Thanks for watching.